You know what it is. The progeny, technology, Valkyrie. I ain't talking lunch. Or some of the villains. Then I came back with gorillas. You don't miss. 6. You know what it is. Gorilla, gorilla, gorilla.
Never asleep on the regular. Usually higher than nebulas. We out here stepping on regular. They're back to playing our Legoland. They let the dreaded inside the zoo. Acting a fool, who the fuck are you? In God we trust and we brought the truth. Heroes are dead and we got the proof. Came here in peace but you broke the truce. Gave you the prince and you still obtuse. Then you come tell me to hold the tools. Get out of here, get the deuce. Keeping the focus as soon as you go.
Timmy Top Notch. What's up, man? How you doing? So I about 3, maybe 4 times a week, I'll do a live stream, which I usually call office hours. And what I normally do is I'll take a couple hours and hang out, smoke a little, answer some questions. Usually people just get to see me work. A lot of times I'll just I'll be in an office meeting, and so I'll be muted, but the music will be playing and a bunch of different other stuff. So it's good though.
They'll tell you please don't mind the skullduggery. We sink ships if we
Let's
anticipate
make
some
some
fuckery.
fuckery.
We keep a nasty company. You burn the fuse up here alone. And I can tell you're not the man they thought you were back home. I know some chumps that pay good money for that type of clone. I'm steady hunting the canary in your chromosome. I'm done with sniping, now I sweep and zone. Inhale the leaf so I can chill and zone. Then cruise galactic through the quantum foam. A world ender, Galactus to the microphone. Then in life bender, my shiny metal ass is shown. And why he keep up front, stay growing.
Jigs.
Also known as Shit's Creek.
Get the rowing. 46 of the Ronin. C Gas, what's up, brother? How you doing? Sean P, what's going on?
They jumped right at the deep end. They brought knife for the defense. Dreaded Dave's consulting with the people. We don't want you suckers for the sequel.
Wesley Gross close, what's going on?
They brought knife for the defense. We don't want you suckers for the sequel. Punch drum boss, walk on top of the
Linoleum. Custodian. Hell yeah, dog. Well, you know the deal, dog. Hit me with one of those C-Gats bangers so I can play on the show. Add to the playlist. Trippin'. Jacob Sullivan, how you doing? Good morning. Or afternoon. Depending on where you are. Oh, yeah. Yuri, what's up, man? How you doing? Crazy in your part of the world right now. Dreaded Apes. For the sequel. Dreaded Apes. Sequel.
Did you really think that I wasn't gonna address this album?
Oh, something of yours. I mean, there's only certain stuff that I can play on stream without getting some sort of a copyright strike or something. Oh, no worries, Jacob. Much appreciated. I'll call you whatever you want me to call you. So.
Nah, for real though. Look, I ain't gonna say no more shit. Listen. Just listen. Listen. Yo.
ism. Peace first, but I will slap you to the rhythm. Rap nigga, product of the system, had to find my mission. First I had to find my inner self, and then I had to listen. Now I'm in and out of sleep, seamless, yes, profoundly gifted. Superpowers in the third eye, no ashy ankles. My nigga Kev will shank you, steal your girl, and then no thank you. Me, I'll beat you to a pulp, take your soul and break you. Either way, we're baked and paid dues, honorable, never shade you. Cause we're the realest niggas out, and y'all are stealing clout. We're stealing hearts, you're stealing art, we're here to see you out. See the route and read the defense when you're out of pocket. D and Tony, how I'm sending rockets for counter offense, sending lobs in. My nigga called the option. I pick and roll the split, then get higher than OB topping. Over top of them, that's how we dropping. On the brown, we never flopping. Stop.
You gotta be two something and do something. Yeah, like use the toy guy, coochie buzzing. Say word, I'm in the next Uber running. The modern woman is fine, it's just you dudes bugging. Maybe you lacking the juice, buddy, that's a usual struggle. Dude thought I was being rude cause the truth stung him. Hey, you gotta find your own groove, brother. Gotta do your own thing. You know I kick it smooth as butter, we the new uncles. In the usual month, a couple boxes of Dutchies, I'm using a few of them. I be usually blunted. I be lit. I slid through in the bucket, can't assume nothing, don't trust it. He was dookie from the summit, trash. Had to block all the computer thugging, all the extra hating make my moves tougher. Y'all some moose knuckles, thought you could truly touch us, that's a goofy assumption. This shit is sweet like Blue Bunny, easy.
Well, pack them if you got them. We're about to norch up, hang out for a little bit, play some music. I know Seagats is sending me some stuff. I got some other stuff on the playlist I'm definitely going to play. So, yeah, dog. Big Norchin. Big Norchin. Still dialing in my sound settings. I was recording this weekend, so a lot of times I'll have sort of different setups for my recording, and so I have to adjust them back for streaming. This is not the microphone that I use for recording. Damn. So you can only have 5,000 friends on Facebook? I didn't know that. Hey, make sure you guys follow Seagats on Spotify. There was a song we did together. I can't remember what it was. It's crazy that I'm at a point in my life now where I don't remember all the music that I've made. Like, legitimately don't remember. I'll hear a song and be like, is that me? Oh shit, that is me. You know, like it's like that now. So I don't know if if that's a good thing or not. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. I'm sure that's not a good thing. That song is dope though. That Moose Knuckles. Hey, the more music, the better the future will be. Wow, that's profound. Well, my thing is like, I've been a musician my whole life. Even before I was a professional musician, and after I was a professional musician, music has always been a part of my life. And being a creative in the musical arts have always afforded me certain opportunities that I definitely wouldn't have gotten had I not been in music, in the culture. The fact that anybody even gave me a damn listen at all is shocking to begin with, because it's like, if you would have told group home kid me 25, 30 years ago or whatever that this would have been my life, I would have told you straight up, you're lying. Like, I think there was no way I could have seen that. But then I think it was more or less the impact that people would tell me that I had on them is what sort of changed my perspective on that. And knowing that, you know, there's some kid running around with the name Greydon because of me, or, you know, the parents who allow their kids to fucking listen to me, you know, and like, oh, you can listen to Greydon Square, but you can't listen to this person. Why? Because I trust Greydon Square with your developing ears. And it's like, damn, you trust, you know, not just Greydon Square, but Grand Unified Theory, because I'm an extension of GU. And to me, it's a different level of responsibility to be trusted with someone's child's ears in their early development. And I've been told that there have been kids listening to me as young as, you know, early development years, 2, 3, 4 years old. They're being shown Greydon Square. I have kids now who are like, you know, my dad was a fan of you when I was a kid, and now I'm grown. And it's like, wait, how old am I? You know? To see Gatz's point, he said it's validating. It is. It is. It makes you really, like, I understand why we chose hip hop. I understand why we chose rap as the medium, because there's a lasting imprint from poetry. And because rap is poetry, we get to craft that imprint. And there's a lot of people who still are imprinted by our ideas and our sounds from when they heard of us when they were children. So Yuri says, I just had this random thought. Today's equivalents of younger you are screwed. Imagine growing up knowing you'll have to compete with AI, and also AI from 20 to 30 years from now. Well, that doesn't bother me. I am fortunate enough to because I would have wanted to compete in an era where there wasn't AI. So I would have been able to sort of gauge my own prowess and who I was able to rhyme with and against, and all those different things. Now, I can tell you from my own personal perspective, I'm very comfortable with my legacy in hip hop. There's nothing that I need to prove or show people. You know, random people online will, you know, try to denigrate me and be like, you know, whatever, you didn't have a career. But it's like, the career that I had is the career that I wanted. I didn't want any other type of career when it came to music. I didn't want to be signed. I think that was very clear in my early music. I didn't want to be on a label. I didn't want to make club radio music. I didn't want to do none of that stuff, because I didn't need to become a professional musician if I wanted to do those things. A, those things already existed, and B, my heart wasn't into making shit like that. Now it's like, people are going to compete with AI, but the issue is that me going through what I've gone through and my experiences, I don't fear competing against AI because I know that I am a one-off. I'm unique. You can't tell my story and then be like, who is this? Who's this character? And have like a fucking silhouette and you don't know who it is. You know my fucking story. My story is extremely unique. And so I don't feel threatened from a uniqueness perspective or how AI could quote unquote replace me. There is no replacing Greydon Square. Like, let's just, I can say that comfortably and confidently. There's no replacing Greydon Square. There's no replacing Grand Unified. There's no replacing what this was, why it was necessary. You can't write the story of hip hop without our contribution to it. That being said, I think people of today will have to consider the fact that the thing that they think makes them special doesn't actually make them special. I'm not special because I can rap. My music is not special because I can put bars together or phonetics together or anything like that. The reason anybody likes me for any reason is because I can appeal to their ideological appetite for intellectual stimulation. There's an ideological component, an intellectual component, a dopamine component that I can induce with what I talk about and how I approach talking about it. Is that special? Is that something that AI couldn't do? No, AI could do exactly what I'm doing. It's my experiences that give what I do context for the people who are interested in listening to it. I completely agree. Oh, ooh, these are bars right here, see guys, so I'm gonna let you cook. He said AI imitating an artist is no different than humans imitating artists. There are a million Eminem clones out there, some that are even pretty decent, but you know Eminem when you hear him. Bro, that's comment of the day right there. That's comment of the day right there. Eminem is his own tree in the forest of hip hop. There's a bunch of trees out there, and some of us are branches off those trees. I'm a branch off the Rakim tree through the root that is, let's say, cannabis, and going back through even a Rakim to Grandmaster Caz and to, you know, Kool Herc, and like you can trace my hip hop lineage and the people who train under me all the way back to the source. Right? I think that's going to be lost. I think that will be lost. You will no longer be able to trace your lyrical lineage, if you will, back to the source like you can right now. You probably get one more generation of that, and then it'll just be people who are like, I never heard of Kool Herc, you know, never heard of Grandmaster Caz, or never heard of Cool G Rap or Cool Mo D or Big Daddy Kane or KRS-One. They'll be like, I never heard of those people. They're legitimately gonna be dope rappers who say that they've never heard of Eminem. In the future, I'm saying in the future, that will be a thing. But there's a lot of imitation in humanity. And this idea that AI can't be original or AI can't be unique, you know, I reject that. I reject that. I reject that. And there are many, 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 many Eminem clones out there. There's so many Eminem clones you can't even count them all. There are more Eminem clones than there are Tupac clones. Maybe AI will start rapping about its experience as AI. Damn. You know what? That's actually something I'd be interested in listening to. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, that's a draw right there. Oh, I remember this joint. Oh, you can't hear that because I'm not playing it there. You have a dope ass verse in this too. Yeah, your verse in this is silly. Oh yeah, I totally forgot that I'm on this.
Lit off, adrift in a ship lost like Houston, Texas. We had lift off, but on our way to space, the coordinates sort of changed. We boarded abnormal planes, distorted my wristwatch. Come blunted, the way that the sun run it. It got us more lit than the sun when we come from it. My crew ain't average, dude, on the avenues, gun running. We keep it a million while you keeping it 100. Mic check 1 and 2, 3 to the 4. Look how nice we done it, and you would've never known. Not a high-tech sonnet, but something for when you're blown. As we slide tectonic plates beneath the flow. Cruising through the avenue, passing you like what's happening, dude. They ask me why I rap and I laugh like I have the aptitude. It's not just passion, too hot for you, I hold candles too. Really, I'm just adding to music that I'm an addict to. So fanatical, probably bleeds ink on the leaves in the streets when hearing these sweet beats. They wanted gold chains with bling in each link, but the only way I floss is strings between teeth. Stay cruising and let them know who the crew is. Everybody from OGs to the new recruitment. Better recognize for asking me who GU is. Grand unified and we flowing like superfluids. Go.
Fascinated by the queries that we can't explain. Crafting theories from the outer rings and outer space. We are like a constellation brighter than Orion star Bellatrix. So relax because we're higher than app is the main attraction. And I'm here with Ryan Adam writing classics. It's a win-win. Whenever we collaborate on tracks, it's like we're twin kids. We chill between the kicks and the claps, but never thin skin. I always got his back cause that's my dog like Rin Tin Tin. And wordplay is the order of the day. Here to slaughter all the fakes, then record all the decay. Listen, we're not your average rappers. Deep in the MCs, terminally ill, you think you're sick, but just a quick sneeze. At you, that's who these bars they are aligned towards. If the shoe fits and you're offended, it ain't my fault. Better get your bearings, we don't wanna hear it. Cause our connection's non-existent like the Holy Spirit. Our only fear is writing rhymes without a resolution. We're the solution, bring intellectual revolution. Better than shooting, erasing a hand, making a stand. One person at a time, that's how you break up a clan. Keep everybody united, now ain't that theory just grand? Cause I am merely a man, imperfect, but I can plan forward. Learn a lesson from my failures like a damn soldier. Then put them in a couple lines that I can hand over here.
We stay lit like acid day trips. While you stray away from the aliens we asked to play with. Beyond structure, we're past the basics. Unlike any other work that you grasp via wavelength. Get arms torn for the art form. Late night cram session with the jams, leaving our dorm. Deep as a score when we go record. Leaving the beat in the morgue like our fans are seeking horrorcore. Got the vision and it's open source, so we can kick it like a broken door. Get on the road and course. All of our problems spit on the door. Cheering loudly with our vocal cords until our throats are hoarse. We're the ones out achieving the goal, so you can let these people know you aren't easily sold. Thrills are fun till you queasy and fold. Got the recipe for growth while you chiefly mode.
Cruising the music fluid lucid. Lunatics loose with new recruits on a lunar ship boosted. This to you, a movement of truth sent to undoing. A proven rumination of schooling meant to unruin. Bars packaged to hard hacking as large factions don't want us to admit when the art's lacking. And that's cool, all this is just a massive ruse that dislodges from the quantum and return us to classical. They know their vessels can't take it. Death of a spaceship mixed with spaghettification. Beyond light speed, and you wanna fight, please. You being able to keep up with us is a pipe dream. Try and fathom me and Ryan Adam. See Gats and EOC Pitus on a battle cruiser flying at them. Cybernetics with a human side. If you survive, expect retaliation from the unified.
Yeah, I thought that came out earlier. I thought that came out in like 2018 or something. But so you're near Kiev in Ukraine, right? Yeah, that came out, I would argue that came out in, was it 2020? Was it actually 2020? I don't even remember. Shit, man. I'm guessing. I could be absolutely 100% wrong. For sure. Until our throats are hoarse. So yesterday we were working on the app, and I worked on the app yesterday for 15 hours straight. And I had to cancel on some plans that I'd had for a long time because, man, we're in the home stretch. We're sitting on the tarmac, and we're getting ready to get the clearance from the tower that we're clear for takeoff. So I had to, me and my co-pilot and the crew we had to work. Shout out to Mr. Discord. Shout out to Miss Ash. Both are just incredible people, and I'm glad we got a chance to work yesterday. But I mean, just the whole Manifest Software, Majestic Comics team, everybody from the Quadrine to the Triune to the QA to executive to art to HR and legal. Like, we're fucking cooking. You know? Oh yeah, I mean, I think most of us grew up on 90s hip hop. Like, if you listen to people in that song, who's in that song? The youngest person in that song is Ryan Adam. I think he was like maybe a whole generation sort of younger than us, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. I don't want to sun the kid, you know what I mean? But I think he was at least 10 years or more younger than everybody else on that song. Because it's me, Pitus, and Gats. We're all the same age. Who else is on that song? I think it was just us four. And I know we all grew up on that 90s shit. I grew up on 90s everything. I mean, I was born in 81, so I grew up in the 80s and 90s. Which is interesting because to have gone through the entirety of the 80s as a young child and then, of course, have my adolescence in the 90s, I'm very fortunate with sort of I don't want to compare, and I don't want to be one of those fucking old guys who are like, oh, the kids today don't have a childhood and all that type of shit. But we did have an incredible fucking childhood. I can't speak for the kids today. They might have a great childhood, maybe. And I'm not going to act like we had a better one than everybody. But damn, I think back, bro, we had some shit. We had Batman the Animated Series, X-Men the Animated Series, Spider-Man the Animated Series, Power Rangers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, motherfucking all the original theme parks were still legit. All the fucking first-gen game consoles were still legit. Like, comics were still a thing. Mainstream movies were still a thing. Malls were still a thing. Like, you know, going up and talking to girls was still a thing. Like, it was just a different vibe. It was just a different vibe. And I know that's not the world of today and blah, blah, blah. I get it. But just a different time. And I'm glad I chose that time to come here and experience that. Karma, how you doing? Welcome. Good morning. Stream don't start till you get here. Yeah, Tombstone says this all the time. Like, we can't really help what we're inspired by. Like, I love this sort of idea that we are a product of our influences, right? So all of the hip hop in the 90s, I feel like I'm a product of. I'm sure Gats, you feel like you're a product of. Tombstone, his influences, sci-fi, you know, with me being an influence on him, but then also his other influences like Eminem and Tech Nine and people like that. To me, you're going to be a product of your influences. You know, you're going to be a product of your influences, and it's up to you to create a palatable interpretation of those influences, because you're going to be measured against that, right? You're going to be measured against, if your shit sounds like the 90s hip hop, then you're going to be measured against 90s hip hop artists, which a lot of people consider was the golden era. not to be confused with the golden age. I don't know. I think a lot of the kids of today talk about how they wish they could have lived back in our time. And I've heard that. I've seen that. I've seen videos. Maybe it's just the videos that the algorithms cure for my sort of, dopamine fix, whatever. I'll concede to that. But I do see instances of people articulating that, damn, they wish they wouldn't have been growing up in a time of AI or growing up in a time of technology and the internet and social media. And I'm just like, yeah, it was kind of cool. I remember a time before the internet. Who here remembers a time before the internet? Raise your hand. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you remember a time before the internet, you are kind of special, because you were the last generation to live before the internet. Just like there was a generation to live before telephony and plane travel. Like, plane travel is still relatively young given the human experience. Like, it's probably like 80 years, 90 years old or something like that. Maybe it's 100 years old. Like, Wright Brothers was like 1915 or some crazy shit, 1908 or whatever. I don't know. It's somewhere around there. But like, okay, give or take 100 years. That's still a fucking snap of a finger in the human time scale. So, things like the internet is so young. AI is so young. Yeah, if you got a chance to experience the world before 9/11, the world before the internet, yeah, you have a unique experience. Yeah, you had a different experience. Reptilian Reaper says, sometimes I wish I grew up in the 90s. I've heard that. I mean, I do hear that from shit. My nephews were born in like 96, 97 or 97, 98, whenever they were born. But like, dog, like, there's a lot of people who were born later who wish they would have been born to experience a time where technology wasn't so prevalent. I mean, you could make a legitimate argument, that humans have been around, our iteration of human, Homo sapien, have been around for about 90 to 120,000 years. And that's like consensus. Now, there are people who say there are missing, volumes of history that can't be explained, and, the sort of Graham Hancock alternate history timelines of the world where humans are about 250 to 300,000 years old, but that's a whole nother. And I'm willing to at least consider that these days, because motherfucking conspiracy theorists are batting like 700 right now. So to just be outright dismissing conspiracies, I just feel like, yeah, you got a 40% chance of being on the wrong side of history at this fucking point. But that's my sort of point. Karma versus Causality says, we are living through historic times is something that I'm tired of saying. Yeah, we are. I mean, it's crazy. The future is wild. 2026 is wild, where, consider this, we're always 15 minutes away from nuclear war. We're always 10 minutes away from the technological singularity. And then we're always 5 minutes away from alien disclosure. And it's like, and then throw in the fucking Epstein files on top of that. This shit is wild. I mean, it could be aliens, it could be robots, it could be alien robots. Who fucking knows? At this point, my mind is open. You know what I'm saying? My mind is open. I'm willing to consider a lot of shit at this point, because again, I go back to motherfuckers who was screaming about Epstein's Island. I remember people talking about this shit in 2005, 6. I remember early Alex Jones, and I remember early sort of conspiracy theorists, pockets of the internet that said things that, yeah, were, things that demonstrably aren't true. The world's not obviously a goddamn flat plane. We can observe this through, technology and observational evidence and other sort of, first person evidence, right? So I'm not going to sit up and relitigate whether the planet is a sphere or not. But when you start talking about high society and multiple tiers of justice and law and a secret cabal of people who supersede elected leadership and shit like that, and they fucking do practices and shit because they think that this is what's gonna give them the ability to live a certain amount of time, like, yeah, I dismissed that shit. I totally dismissed it because I'm just thinking like, okay, if that was true, there'd be so much fucking evidence and so many fucking people and so much shit. Oh no, there was. Oh no, there is. Oh no, there fucking is. There absolutely is. And you get to a point where you're like, I don't want to just sit here and be like, everything is real or everything that they say is right. But when you start piling up wins and you start piling up times where you are right, you can legitimately say, hey, you can at least hear me out, right? If the conspiracy theorist was to come to me now and be like, hey, would you at least hear me out? I'd be like, yes. Before it was like, I got better shit to do. Now, I don't know if I have better shit to do. I'm actually willing to hear out the conspiracy theories at this point. So, you can make your own, Biddy Love says you can make your own go-karts from random wood and a big prom wheels. Hey, look, hobbits, fairies, dragons, aliens, motherfucking NHI, aqua, terrestrials and shit. Like, listen, bro, everything's on the table at this point. Everything's on the table that is within reason, that's reasonable, that's allowed by the laws of physics. I'm willing to consider it. And even shit that ain't allowed by the laws of physics at this point, I'm willing to consider. So, yeah, dog, again, you know what I'm saying? When certain people get certain shit right, you are willing to consider hearing them out on other shit that they say, even if you know you have a low or a high bar for proof and evidence and all that type of shit. I still have that sort of, you have to qualify for me to say that this is something credible. But I'm no longer just outright dismissing people who say, hey, there's some crazy shit going over here. All right, man, tell me more. Tell me more. Oh, okay. Yeah. See, you guys know I went to the Army, not the Air Force, so I'm not a smart man. You know, that's interesting too. Yuri the Best says, also, can we take a moment to appreciate that just until recently, people would spend like 100,000 years and all that would change is they'd make slightly better flint knives. Like, the amount of progress in the human lifetime was relatively minimal. Right? But that isn't, I mean, we can acknowledge that, but also acknowledge that 100,000 years on A, geological timescales, and B, cosmic timescales isn't a long time. It's just that to the human whose life is at that time 40 years, if you're lucky, if you're an elder in that time, pre-modern medicine, pre-modern civilization, quote unquote, pre-society. So I'm like, what the hell is a pushchair? Yeah, well, when you said a baby carriage, I put two and two together and I was like, oh, okay, that's, you know, I don't have any babies. So it's like, I would never, that word would have never come across my desk. Hubert Whacken. I'm sure there's a guy out there whose name is Hubert Wacken. Mr. Wacken, I apologize for taking your name in vain and kind of making fun of it, but it's a funny name. A baby on wheels. Stop that baby. Remember that movie Baby's Day Out, where it was like this baby that just roamed through New York City through like syringes and fucking terrorist attacks, only to come home like at the end of the day, like, you know. Whacking and packing, dog. Big Diddy. Yeah, there was a movie where about this kid. It's like it was in that weird period of 90s movies where it was like between like 94 and 96 or 7, where movies were just utterly ridiculous. You know, like Rookie of the Year, you know, kid fucking breaks his arm in a way that allows him to throw 125 mile an hour fastballs. Or it's just like, wait, what? What are we talking about here? Like, what is this? Oh, that is not what I had in mind. Oh, this is not what I had in mind. Oh, whoops. Whacking and packing. Yeah, this is not what I had in mind. This looks like a early car prototype, like one of those Model T Fords. Yeah, no, for sure. It totally does. Totally did. You are absolutely correct that it does. Totally does. Let's see here. I was wondering what the hell was going on. Cool. Wonder if that is actually still. Oh. Let's see. I don't think that's it either. No. Mad Max with petticoats. wondering about that. I need to be higher to get that joke, basically. Oh, did you? Hell yeah. So there's this comic Karma. There's this comic called Feral about these cats. It's like a whole comic just about these characters of cats and like one dog. I'm just doing some testing, but cruising the list of Damn. Wait, Gat, you said you're sold? Hold on, have you heard of this shit called Feral? Dog, then you'll love this fucking comic, dog. Then you will absolutely fucking love this comic. Let me fucking move this. In fact, I'll probably just make that disappear. But yeah, this is great. So this is an Image comic, and just so anybody asks, this is the platform. This is the Majesty platform. So this is in-house Manifest software, Grand Unified, 9 Inch Nails. Oh shit, that's dope. But Gat says he sold. But yeah, look at these crazy cast of characters. It's like all these cats, one dog, and it's super political. It's like for cats, I guess. But I wonder if there's a smart panel setup. Oh yeah, I did set up smart panels on this. So yeah. So we get a chance to like kind of look at it real quick. So that's coming pretty soon. So the app will, so we're getting ready to, okay, let me frame a bunch of this before we get into this. Just, I'll come back to that. So where we are with the app, I haven't talked about it. I haven't even done a Substack in fucking I don't know how long, just because I wanted to wait. I wanted to wait until there was really big movement on something with the app, because I was kind of giving piecemeal updates about what was going on, because I couldn't give an update because we were so far out from launch, and there were certain things that, look, we have patented, but there are other things that are just experience things that we can't patent, and so we want to just keep close to our vest until we release. That experience gets tied to our platform so that when people mimic it, there's some sort of real estate that's already been established there. They can't do what we do directly, but there's still other things I'm sure people are going to try to do that, you know, I want to get ahead of. So I couldn't really talk about much stuff. Now we are at a point where we're about 3 weeks away from launching a Kickstarter. The app is about 94% complete. Like, I'm trying to think of what's not done. I can think of one thing right off the top of my head that is not done, but that is it. And it might not even be a blocker. I think we're release ready now. I'm talking to the team. I haven't, oh shit, I got a message from HR. 1 second. Let me make sure. All right. Okay. So basically, every one of the features that we wanted in the app going into release is going to be in the app. I don't think there's anything that's not going to be there. If I'm, you know, one of the things we really wanted to do was really master our page turning animation and experience. Now that that's been essentially solved for, thanks in large part to Miss Ash and Mr. Discord, who really went in on this and really made it something special, in my opinion. So really shout out to them. Yeah, no, I actually have an HR department. Yeah, I actually have an HR department. By department, meaning multiple people, more than 3. So. But now that that has been solved for, we can now go move on to other things that are more important to our experience for readers, for publishers, for advertisers, for people who want to license. And, you know, what we're trying to do with our marketplace is make it so that independent publishers feel comfortable hosting their content on our platform, because our platform gives a completely bespoke and unique experience for their readers. And also we're undercutting the market and giving a better rate and blah, blah, blah. So there is that. And my goal, Ash's goal, you know, the whole idea at Manifest Software for Majesty was to democratize the storytelling experience for publishers and make it so that they can create a royal reading experience. Treat the reader like they are the royalty, if you will. And I do believe that we've done that. So I'm gonna go through a couple of these pages real quick, just so we can see if everything is working. Hey, have a good one, Karma. Peace. Well, before I do that, I want to see this art. Shout out to Structure, the homie Joseph, who is an incredible artist, and without his art assets, we would have never been able to file our patent. So he's just as important to this as anyone. Well, let's see here. Got some Majestic Comics stuff. Extropy and Entropy. Issue technically 3. Shattered Alliance. You got our cast of characters that are, you know, doing what they're doing. You got Zillith, Decaeus, Chaos, Malari, Gray, Malik. And we've got, of course, a little previously on X-Men type shit, right? Of course, credits there. Kind of get away with having a QR. I know this makes Mr. Discord's skin crawl. I wonder if he's online. Atlas 2, this is logo, Comcheck. Nope, I guess not. Let's see here. So then you have something that I really appreciate, which is if you backed the original Majestic Comics Kickstarter, your name is on this list somewhere. And there's so many people that I recognize on here, and you know, people's names that I see, and just really cool. Donkey. Yep. So this is awesome. Let's see here. Before we get into that page, I do want to see something here. So one of the things that I love about Majesty is the fact that, now I'm going to get rid of this down here. This is just normally there so people can see it, but I'm probably going to get rid of that on screen control there. But the beauty of the art and being able to see the art without seeing any text or anything like that, like I can remove this and bring it back as I so choose. And so you have this experience of like, oh, you know, I want to experience the fucking art, or I want to now know about the text. But you don't have to actually zoom in for that, right? We actually have it now to where you can just have a little, like, it's called a loop, but most people call it a magnifier. And you have the ability to like zoom in to your characters and be able to kind of just see what you want. You can change that to different shapes and, you know, different things. And of course, I'm going to move my giant face out of the way because I feel like I should be like right here somewhere. Maybe that's better, right? Let's see here. Well, also, you said big faces in the pocket. And then of course the ability to be able to see the art underneath the art. Because I feel like we lose that. Look how clean that page turn is. Oh my goodness, Jesus. We really knocked this out of the park. So you can go really anywhere. You can go down there, you can go up here. You really have the ability to go really deep into the art, right into the sketches, right into the thumbnails. Like, and if you're an art fan, you're like, yo, that's fucking crazy. If you're not an art fan, that's fine because you have other ways to curate the story as well. Maybe you're a story person and not so much a fan of the art, but you're like, yo, listen, this story is great, so I can do X, Y, and Z. there something? Oh yeah, let me go back. And then of course, we also have the ability to, do we? Hold on. Let me reset that real quick. I was gonna say, like, I could have sworn this panel was animated. So I need to change the times on these animated panels. I think they're, or I don't have to change them, but the editor has to change them. Direwolf, what up? What's going on? Just doing some testing on the app. Get rid of that real quick. Cool, cool. So I'm toggling this in real time. So like, and then I could let my hands go. I don't know if you see this, but I could let my hands go and this could just auto play. So you could just have it up on TV and then it'll just play out. And the editor can create the experience itself. That's pretty crazy, right, Guts? The app doesn't, but you can. You can add vocal audio to your animation. Yes. Excuse me. But yes, you can. Biddy Love, you're absolutely right. And to be honest with you, we made this for people like you who love not only comics as a medium to tell stories, but as a medium to appreciate art. And I think we've gotten away from that because everything has become so commercialized. Where I just like the fact that this looks cool. Like, man, this just fucking looks cool. Like, what is going on? Why aren't we just appreciating the fact that it looks cool? But there's a lot of people who feel like, I don't care if it looks cool if it's not making no money. And that's fair if you got to feed your family and, you know, that's the whole thing you're operating from. But maybe I can reset this. But I do feel like there is a level of appreciation where you have the ability as an art fan to just say, I want to appreciate the art for what it is. Like what I'm doing right now is being able to like X-ray view the different layers in here if I want to. I definitely think it's a beautiful way to appreciate art. What's this? Yeah, if I do that. But just giving people the ability to appreciate the way that they want. And so, yeah. That's fucking beautiful. It just gives me a chance to really appreciate my homie's artwork, because my homie's got great artwork, and it's just like, yo. Yeah, we actually already have that in one of our builds. Yuri. Oh, that fade was so beautiful. Oh my goodness. That's so... Oh. I can't believe Mr. Discord's not online right now. There's no way. Com check on FleetNet. Damn. Like, that's dope. You know, I don't want to recreate the Spotify model. I don't think it's healthy for art, and I don't think it's healthy for the relationship between artists and publishers. I want to go back, and maybe you can't go back, and that's my folly, and I'll deal with the business consequences of that as the owner of the company. But like, I want to go back to the idea that people can buy outright something that they own forever, and they can choose to subscribe, because we are allowing publishers to offer subscriptions to all of their work, so they can be their own Spotify if they want to, and they can set their own price to be able to do that. I don't want to just be like, yeah, pay us, you know, $10 a month and you get access to the entire marketplace catalog. I just don't think that that's good business for anybody. There's been a big problem with streaming music, and I think comics have also gone through that because of how just monetized and commodified the industry has become. Most comics don't even make any money. They are used as sort of testing groups for characters and merchandise that they can sell and have bigger profit margins on. So I don't think we have to consolidate our revenue in the area of publisher reader transaction spread. Like that alpha will never be big enough to justify being so big that it just becomes cost prohibitive to the reader. But I just want to make it to where the publishers can decide their own rates. This is a marketplace where if you want to allow people to just buy it outright, you can, but the marketplace will decide whether you're doing the right thing or not. Because if your shit's just too expensive, or you're not offering enough bang for the buck, value for what they're spending, then they're just gonna cancel their subscription with you and keep their subscription or buy from the people they get the most value from. And I do believe that that's how the marketplace will decide. It's funny because I like this too, where it's like I get to focus on the art and block out the dialogue whenever I want to see it. But you can also do this sort of thing that I like to do where, let's say I go like this. And so now I'm basically just covering up the dialogue and kind of seeing what I want to. And that's if I don't want to zoom in. Some people might actually want to zoom in, and that's totally fine. But if you do, then it just relatively changes for you, right? So it's not like it's so, I want to widen this though. Yeah. So like, yeah, you can have that ability to move that around. So it's not bad. Yes. Ultimately, the publishers are bringing their own customers anyway. If I sell something in the Amazon store, I'm not relying on Amazon to bring my customers. I'm basically bringing my own customers through my own marketing, my own promotion, my own outreach, and brand visibility schemes and tactics and things like that. Like I don't put that on Amazon to bring me an audience or to bring me clients. I just had a client meeting the other night. It was crazy because I just put in like a 10-hour day, just working. We're working on the app. I mean, we're finally getting certain things on our blocker list just knocked out and just kicked into orbit. And we're like, yes, we're finally killing it, right? And it's towards the end of the night. Then I get a message from the homie and he's like, yo, I'm in LA. I got this homie. He's fucking, doing it kind of big right now. He's doing this comic book thing. And I told him about what you're doing. And he wants to talk to you. And I'm like, hey, give him my info. So, we link up. I ended up doing a sort of a pitch meeting. It wasn't sort of, it was a pitch meeting. And I didn't stop until I closed him. And ultimately there's a certain satisfaction you get when you're able to answer every question that a person has, and every answer you give, they interpret it as a benefit for them, their business, their goals, and what their aspirations are. And so this is 10 o'clock, 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, and I'm pitching a publisher and able to close. And I'm very open about what my goals are here, at least front facing. The Infinity Gauntlet goes something like this. If the platform is the glove, then there are 7 stones that must be on or in that glove in order for us to be able to snap our finger and make our competition just fucking disappear. For ethical reasons, of course. But I'm pretty sure you guys know these. Some of you may not, but it's Marvel, DC, Image, IDW, right? So that's 4. Boom Comics, that's 5. Did we say Dark Horse? I think that's 6. And Valiant. that would be 7. So if we can get all of those publishers, at least some property or another, on the platform, in my opinion, we justify our valuation. I'm gonna change this around real quick. Mirage, I don't know. I don't know if they would be considered a major player like the other ones I was referring to. And it's not like we wouldn't want them. I mean, no disrespect to Mirage, you know. Archie Comics is still around. There's still some other sort of medium tier or, you know, mid-carder tier, but I wouldn't call them like main eventers. You know what I mean? Well, thank you, Yuri. I appreciate that. I very much appreciate that. Let me move this out of the way. I don't even think it's effective. Zodi, what's up? How you doing? So Decaeus just declares himself Lord of the Entropics. I'm pretty sure that's not legal by Entropic, even for brutes such as them. I didn't mean that. So, interesting. Oh, that's not on this one. I just realized. I was gonna say that panel is animated in one of these. Also, because I hate trying to figure out what the hell layer notification. Look at that. That's so ill. Yeah, I mean, the publishers can decide how they want to create their animation. We don't really have a say over that. And we don't really take a stance on whether you use AI or if you use human. I mean, it's your experience to create. We want the market to decide. So if the market decides that your stuff is buns, then in my opinion, it ain't gonna have anything to do with AI. It's gonna be because your shit's buns. And on the other side of that, it's like having human made art is not going to make you sell more if your shit's buns. So you just got to be better than Cheeks. But with what I've seen with AI, what I've seen with AI is like, if you look at this down here, oh, whoops. If I can go back to the next page. So like if I zoom in and have that, and let's say I got rid of the text in there, but like you should be able to like zoom in and see the animation. Like this is, I could zoom all the way in on our face, and on Garrick's face. And for the record, this did not exist on planet Earth before we invented it. That's why we got 2 patents on it. And it was really fucking expensive. So it was there's something that needs to be dialed in with the click page turn, and I wonder if that is a memory issue, a memory leak that we just haven't stamped out yet. No, that's mechanical. We're gonna have to figure that out. But again, it's so much better than it used to be. Like our page just experience is so much better than it used to be. And this is just as recently as 3 days ago. It wasn't this good. Damn, the case. That's fucked up. Oh, thank you. And I think that the whole team is as dedicated as I am. From, you know, the CTO, she, in my opinion, is psychotically driven and dangerously intelligent. Like that is I'm so happy she plays for the good guys. Like if that intellect was weaponized against you, you'd be fucked. You'd be fucked. But she is where she is because she is who she is. And but then that also goes to, you know, HR and our head of HR, and she's as awesome as she is and as good as she is, and I wouldn't be able to do this without her as well. Publisher relations, you know, QA, the team over at Majestic, right? Manifest Software and Majestic Comics are two different companies, and they do work together because Majestic Comics is essentially publisher zero for the platform. But yeah, it's two different situations. And I'm trying to think from the perspective of the platform as well as think from the perspective of the publisher and trying to make the best case scenario for both parties. So, but yeah, I think that the whole team is amazing. Everybody is just super dedicated. You know, we're organized, we meet regularly, you know, we have our office space. I mean, it's pretty crazy. I will say that. And really, this is an extension of Grand Unified Theory, because everybody who works for Manifest Software or everybody who works for Majestic Comics is Grand Unified. I mean, I think the lowest person on the Kardashev scale within the entirety of the companies is Type 4, and he'll be vetted at the end of this year. You know what we're working on, Gats? Oh man, I gotta tell you, I gotta tell you directly. Hey, Gats, check your direct. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Like in the civilizational scale or something else? Oh, no. This is, so within Grand Unified, the organization, like, we have houses, right? They're basically they're smaller communities of the greater community. Those might include the Valkyrie, Reaper Legion, the Giannis Sleth, Progeny of Ancients, the Dreaded Apes, Low Technology, the TXI, I know I'm forgetting somebody, Dreaded Apes, right? Like, one of those houses is where if you're a vetted member of GU, if you're a vetted member of the community, as we call it, then you fall into one of those houses, right? In order to be considered, you have to work your way. Gaia. See, there you go. I knew I was forgetting somebody. Gaia Union, right? But in order to be considered for vetting, you have to essentially work your way up what we all refer to and we all know as the Kardashev scale, right? And so there's 4 levels. And as you start being more active in the community, different moderators and house chancellors and higher ranking people see you, and your name gets around and you start moving up the scale. And then finally, when house vetting season comes around, it comes around once a year. If your name is submitted, you get an invite, and then you join a house officially. And then in that, you join, their sort of projects and politics and their, sort of the people that they have in there. And it's a whole thing. So, but yeah, that's kind of how that works. Yep. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, if you're interested in that sort of community and you want to, the UF is actually an outgrowth of Grand Unified, right? So the UF is made up of people who are vetted in the community in some way, shape, or form. We do have people who have come from outside the community to join the UF, but it usually, because they don't understand the nature of GU and where it comes from and why it's important to a lot of people, oftentimes they just don't get it, and that's fine. But for who and what we are, like, it makes sense for what GU is and the different players in Grand Unified. Basically, anytime that you have a project within the community, it's done by one of the 8 houses. Where am I on the type scale? Seems to vary for every chat I was active in. It depends, because it can vary. You can go up and down the scale. It's a lot harder to lose house vetted status, although you can. It does happen. But you will see people who will sort of start to work themselves up the scale, and then they will do something or say something or act in a way that makes people a little bit more hesitant, and they'll move them back down the scale, and then there'll be enough time that since that's happened to where they'll start to move back up the scale and that sort of stuff. So it really is a sort of like a measurement of how close you are in with people in the community and how much you're contributing and how much you're hanging out and talking. And you could be in the D&D group, or like I said, in the UF playing Star Citizen, or playing Magic the Gathering with a lot of the guys. I mean, there's so many Magic people in GU that but yeah, move back here real quick. But I will say that all of that is to say that if you are wondering like, okay, where is a project like this? How do I get involved in a project like this? And, you know, there's a lot of people who I have tried for a long time to get them to become house vetted, and they, for some reason, they decided that they didn't want to, they weren't interested, you know, whatever reason, right? And I'm not ever going to try to sell someone on the idea of being house vetted, right? Either that's something you value or it's something you don't. I'm not even going to try to convince you. I'm not going to try to sell you on it or nothing like that or anything, right? But there will also be those people who will then later on be like, hey man, how come I didn't hear about this? Or how can I get a hold of the people who are doing this? Or how come this wasn't something discussed on the server? And it's like, no, it was discussed. It just was discussed either in a house channel, in a house chat, between people who are of the same house or people who are house vetted. That's just kind of the way things work in Grand Unified. It's just always sort of been, at least for the last 5, 6, 7 years, it's been that way. And I try to tell people, man, like, you don't have to, but it helps a lot if you're trying to be a part of certain projects and certain things. You may not care about that, and that's totally fine. I don't want people to feel like they're pressured to do that, but then they will then find out later they weren't in this discussion or in that discussion, and it's like, yeah, this was a house project. This was something that 2 members of 2 different houses in GU came together and created Majestic Comics, or 2 members of 2 houses in GU came together and created Manifest Software. And do you have to be vetted to do that? No, but it sure makes me trust you a lot more if you are. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of people who come through here and you never know who they actually are. If you get vetted in GU, yeah, I'm probably gonna listen to you a little bit more, you know? Nordstein? This cyberpunk comic is stupid. I'm not sure if you're into cyberpunk. I was never really into it. I could never get past the first fucking 10 hours of it. Yeah, there are, and I'm really only happy about like 4 or 5 of those cards, really, which is like the Donatello Gadget Master one, Metalhead Legendary Creature Robot one, and a couple of other big dudes. Other than that, I'm not really. I'm way more concerned with the Star Trek set coming out in fucking November. And I know people who are like, Gray, you're not happy about the fucking Ninja Turtles. I'm like, I'm happy about the Ninja Turtles, but it's not going to affect my main deck that much. And I'm not building a Ninja Turtle deck. Like, that's not happening. I don't even like the ninja mechanic. So. Oh man, I need to go to the bank. It's fucking payroll tomorrow. Oh, you didn't miss anything. I was just, I think I was just talking about this cyberpunk comic that I don't have any context for because I've never played the game all the way through. So I figured I'd Norch and fucking fuck with it. Fucks with it. Are you resentful of how little money you make? Everyone's resentful of how little money they make. Doesn't change anything. Yeah, I feel that. Is that all that is? Is that all this is to you? A job? It's like, how am I supposed to answer to that? I love how there's like a dialogue going on in the background and then like a story unfolding in the foreground, and they're both related. Dun, 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 dun. All right, we Norchin. Big Lorch. Big Lorch. Yeah, this Kickstarter is going to be interesting because, you know, we're not doing a Kickstarter for a comic book. We're doing it for the app. That's a piece of technology. And it's going to be interesting to see how people respond to that. Absolutely. probably make that breakpoint a little bit more like right here. So that's about 20 right there, right? Ah, fuck. Oh, about 20. And this will be something that the user can adjust themselves. I feel like it should be like 40. Nah, I want it to be 35. God damn it. Dick Tracy. This Lower Decks comic, I need to fucking read the next one of. Damn, this credit is dope right here. This credit is stupid. Captain's log, stardate 59010.2. Always feels good to do that. So, you see that? Solved in what, 20 minutes? Crisis averted? You're welcome. And the whole Federation to switch back to capitalism again just to give me a raise. Hey, she said it, I didn't. This is a well-drawn panel right here. It seems a shame to waste a banger of an episode title like The Cerritos Encounter here, but don't worry, there are still titles like The Cerritos Factor, The Cerritos Directive, and The Cerritos Equation. Certified bangers all. That's gotta be fucking Mariner narrating, right? Peace, Biddy Love. I'll see you when you get back. I need to do it to where if the mouse leaves, I need to edit the code to where if the mouse leaves the playing area, your, whatchamacallit, disappears. Your loop disappears. Stupid. It's like, look, we all love exploring strange new worlds, but I guess I assumed they'd be strange and new in at least interesting ways, you know? You gotta admit that was heavily implied. Oh, Mariner, you're such a treat. Stupid. Oh, sorry. When I move my mouse off the screen, like, I have to get rid of that. Com check on FleetNet. Yeah, I completely agree, Sean P. It's difficult when you're reading a comic and the art doesn't match what you have already established for the characters. I have a D Space Nine comic that's like that. I'm like, well, this does not look like fucking Cisco. Yeah. Damn, I need to go to the bank. Yeah. All right, you guys. Well, yep. Absolutely. Yeah, I need to go to the fucking bank. So I'm probably gonna jump off, and I'll probably be back on when I get back from there. It'll be on another link, but I'll definitely see you guys in a bit. Much appreciate hanging out this morning, seeing me test the app. We got a whole bunch of shit to test, so should be good. I think I'm gonna have some sort of a public testing wait list or something like that, but I haven't sort of decided how that's gonna be. But yeah, absolutely, Gats. I definitely will. Yeah, I'll definitely reach out.